All right, Coach, thanks for doing this. It really is a pleasure to talk to you. And before we talk ball, we've got to talk about the climate in which we are doing this, remotely with distancing, with health and wellness and safety in mind.
Crazy times. I've gotten into a routine personally, Chaz, but yeah, I've gotten used to this Zoom thing. But when we think about where we are, I thought Washington State was way ahead of us early, and then all of a sudden, our governor, our administration, our president. It's made me, to be quite honest, when you open up with that question, but it's made me pretty proud, just as a human being, to be quite honest. Everybody is put to the forefront of this. Be a good citizen. This isn't about taking care of ourselves. It's about taking care of others by staying inside. So starting with the governor and moving all the way down into our university system to Pat and the administration, and then obviously all of the workers in the state. Thank you for what you're doing. God bless. And crazy times, but I know everybody really is pulling from the same team right now. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, this all sort of goes hand in hand with what I've heard you reference personally from the day I met you in talking about your vision for Washington State baseball and what you wanted to start with. It wasn't actually a lot of baseball. It was a lot of team building and it was a lot of culture.
Well, there's no question about that. Yeah, we actually take a commitment or an oath to ourselves as a program. And what that says at the very beginning of it is that we recognize that it's a privilege to be a member of the team, and we promise to place the needs of the team always above our own. I think this is one of those clear times that we're talking about the team as humanity. So, I don't want to get too far off, but I've got a lot of pride right now. I really do. You can walk around Pullman and there's not a lot of people out. Everybody is really keeping their distance, and there's a lot of respect to that. And even if you look at Dr. Henry on staff with us, we get reports on a daily basis of what's going on, how to combat it. It's such a unique opportunity or different time for all of us. But it's been pretty cool how we've handled it. The communication has been off the charts, and we just pass it on down to our players.
One of the things everybody's talking about now in all of college athletics is, as you and I speak, there is a vote that is going to determine, at least in part, whether or not those who lost their spring sports seasons will gain or regain that year of eligibility. Will it be just for seniors? How do you think this goes, and how do you think this affects the Cougs?
Well, we're in a very unique situation just in the sense that we don't have many seniors. We have two seniors that were on the field for us this year. Both of us were outstanding. Any remote possibility of those kids coming back, just you raise your eyebrows. But I want to see those guys get out and get into professional baseball if all possible. They've earned it. Great story, AJ Block. I'm sure we'll touch on that, what he did this year and his turnaround. But for us, how it affects us with only two seniors, you really just look at the numbers of kids coming in. Obviously we've got a pretty large recruiting class coming in. We're going to flip the program. We're very excited about that. The two sides of things, when you look at it, everybody wants to get their year back. I'd love to see that. I think we would all love to see that, but then there's a cost analysis of that. We were going, boy, this is really a touchy thing. And then I look at it from a humanistic point of view, not just as a baseball coach, but I look at it, a lot of us are struggling. People are losing their lives. People are losing their jobs. People are staying at home. And so, with respect to that, I really don't try to get outside of it. From a baseball coach perspective, I try to take more of a humanistic approach. However, I think all the coaches would tell you, hey, we would love to give everybody their opportunity to come back. We've got some exciting stuff going on. I'd love to see those freshmen get an opportunity to come back. Our kids were blowing up. It was fun. We're 15, 16 games into the season, and we put the brakes on it. So, the development piece, that'll impact it. And we're doing the best job that we can right now in this formula, in this format with our kids. We're communicating with them a ton via Zoom.
Yeah, you're doing it all remotely after a 9-7 start, but Washington State baseball fans have become accustomed to the start of the year is on the road. Mm-hmm. And then you start to get home and it starts to warm up a little bit. And by the time you get into that second, third week of pack play, which obviously didn't happen, you start to get a sense of what really could be. And boy, AJ and Zane Mills were just eye-popping with their numbers, the amount of strikeouts, the ERA, the win-loss record.
Those guys were unbelievable. Our entire pitching staff just did a fantastic job this year. Again, only 16 games in. And Chaz, we saw this even from the fall. Look, we've got a tremendous pitching coach. Anthony Claggett, all I know with Clags is our two championships from New Mexico State when he showed up. Pitching the big leagues with the Yankees. He's a tremendous person. He's a great communicator. He's very diligent. He's very organized. He just did a tremendous job with our pitching staff, and they absolutely handed it to us in the fall offensively. There were some holes that we had to address at the plate. We were working on a third of the plate offensively, so they made us get better in a hurry, and they pounded specific areas that made us get better. But that didn't slow down. Our guys just continued to improve. Mills really blew up and emerged onto the scene. AJ Block had a massive turnaround. When I think of our pitching staff, I think about our offense too this year. We really had two primary goals going into the season, and really was to go this way with just command, defensive command on the mound. We've got to get that strikeout to walk ratio. We've got to move towards 3-1 on the defensive side. You look at what Zane and AJ did. I mean, my goodness, those just eye-popping numbers of what they did from strikeouts and walks. I think AJ 35-5 or something around that region. Just a crazy statistical line. And then you look at what we did at the plate as well. We were the second fewest times struck out of any team in the Pac-12. Huge improvement, and that's where you saw the big improvement for our program. Obviously 9-7, nothing that we're jumping up and down about, but to be quite honest of where we were in the fall and where we were moving towards, winning record in a preseason hasn't happened in a while, regardless of where we're ending or starting. Just really proud of the guys, but it was led and really led by our pitching staff. There's no question about that. AJ and Zane were the point makers.
Yeah, Mills had a 1.44 ERA and was 3-0. But when in a baseball sense, when you and I spoke, New Mexico State, your hitting numbers were incredible. Manzardo was hitting 435. Montez had 4 dingers. You had Pop at the plate. I was just about to get into it with you guys, so I was watching just about every game. And I saw not only power, but tell me if this is fair to say, timely power when you needed it in games.
Yeah, and Chaz, it just started to just keep getting better and better. Obviously you can't script a better opening night. We haven't won an opening game. Again, always on the road, typically inside in cold weather. We go outside, and this year we go extra innings and win in our final at bat with 2 2-strike hits and 2 outs for run scoring hits to win on the road. That was a really exciting night. When you get an opportunity to do that as a program, you put those things in your back pocket. Any of the sports or the coaches will tell you that. We were just really fortunate we were able to do that. So on game 1, we had comeback knowledge and we had confidence knowledge, and it just built, big timely hitting, big extra base hits, 2 outs, 2-strike hitting. Our 2-out hitting in our 9-game stretch where we went 7-2 in our last 9 was unbelievable. Our guys were really confident. They were fighting. It was fun to see. We were just flat out getting better. Manzardo obviously was blowing up, the leading hitter in the pack right now. Guys were getting better. Smith had a really good run of quality at bats. Vanderbreak was heating up. Brady Hill, the local product. We had some exciting stuff going on. So our challenge right now is just to build on it and switch gears a little with what we're doing. We've really turned it into just let's take this opportunity to gain strength and really change that portion of it. There's obviously a lot of positives to be had on the time off. We'll take advantage of it if we can.
You'd alluded to local product, and Vanderbreak's brother actually played at Gonzaga a couple of years back, and you mentioned flipping the program and recruiting and looking forward. You've had and have in-state kids coming to play here for the Cougs, don't you?
We got an exciting recruiting class coming in, and it's nice to be able to comment on it now that they've signed. But, with 4 of the top 10 players in the state of Washington coming in to play Cougar baseball, really exciting there. Ranked at the junior college level, we've whether been 5 or 10 at the national junior college level, just in terms of it being either a number 5 or a number 10 ranked class in the country. Terry Davis, our recruiting coordinator, just does a tremendous job. He's a tireless worker. A funny story with Terry, it's October. He's in the dugout, and I reintroduced him to the team. The kids hadn't seen him in 6 weeks. He had been out grinding, but we're pretty excited about what's coming into Pullman. The Washington kids were really excited. That was something that was of interest to me. I wasn't sure, Chaz. I really thought that it might take a year to show everybody that we could literally show some real improvement on the field. The BTO project had a massive impact on those kids. We had a nice message for them. They got excited, and it's a real class. 5 kids on the area code team, number 5 or 10 ranked program with the junior college level. So we got some real guys coming in, and there's exciting times in Pullman right now. We're pretty jacked about it.
The SEC is great baseball. The top of the ACC is elite, and then Michigan and the Big Ten was really good, and they've had some good teams. Not only is the Pac year to year, probably the best league in the country. There's always arguments. SEC, Big 12 is really good. But specifically the Pacific Northwest, the Huskies went to Omaha. The Ducks have been very, very good. The Beavers have won national championships. And now with what you're referencing with the BTO project, with what you were able to start with this year on the road, being 4-1 at home, is this region maybe the best college baseball region in all of America? Just this area?
Well, I think there's obviously some great pockets. If you look at the Southeast and Florida, if you look at Texas, you look at California. But yeah, our region it's pretty stout. There's some real players up here, and there always has been. Even when I go back to when we were at Kentucky, we recruited a kid out of Portland, ended up being a first-team All-SEC player in a battle between Kentucky and Portland, the University of Portland. So Thomas McCarthy was his name, an all-conference player. But there is some great talent up here, and but I think when you look at what the Northwest has done, Chaz, I just think, we were able to step in with the rest of the Northwest. There's been a real commitment from the administrations in the Northwest for baseball. If you look at the facilities of Washington, Oregon, and Oregon State. So for us to be able to jump into that mix really put us under that level playing field, and more importantly, a statement of value on those Northwest kids that says, hey, baseball is really important to Washington State. Our alums know that. Our history knows that. But now we're putting a foot to that just in terms of the facility. So that was a big piece. But then the talent, there's a lot of real players up here. And we've got a real fortunate and opportunity that if we just stay within the state or within the region, we can hammer that thing out the entire summer and fall. And there's just a lot of good players.
It's exciting. There may not be any group that is more in flux with the way scholarships and baseball work and this vote and all that's kind of hanging in the air. So we're with you. We're with you every second here, hitting refresh to try to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. This vote's big. There's so many things that can happen here with, the draft has come out with either 5 or up to 10 rounds. There's dollar limits there. So that's probably going to do something with the
I don't mean to cut you off. That's shrunk a lot. 5 to 10 rounds for a baseball draft is very much a huge departure from what it usually is in another year.
Yeah, Chaz. I mean, you're slicing off potentially 30 rounds of draft, so you're slicing off 30 rounds of players. So you're going to see. I mean, college baseball right now, regardless of what happens with the rules, with eligibility of guys being able to retain it or not, just looking at that compression of the draft, college baseball is going to be stout next year, just in terms of talent. There's going to be a lot of mid-level or mid-range draft players returning to school. You're going to see a lot of high school drafts go to college because they're not going to get an opportunity really to show themselves other than a few combine type events. And if they don't get drafted in those first 5-10 rounds, then there's a cap on that free agent sign. So our team, all of the teams right now with heavy recruiting classes with draft potential players, they're probably coming to school. That's really exciting. The challenge is just going to be the vote, to see what happens with everybody retaining their eligibility. How big is that going to be or not? And then like anything in our industry, just be creative. We're working with 35 players, 27 scholarships, 11.7. College baseball coaches are geniuses at making things work. So we're going to have something on our plate again to be able to do that probably real soon. I know I'm really excited about the vote, at least seeing what it is.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck. Be safe. Be well. All my best to you and your family and everybody, because it's a really unique time, way bigger than baseball. It's fun to talk ball, but I'm glad everybody's safe and well and healthy.
Yeah, great message, Chaz. And same thing going out that way. God bless everybody. Be safe. Be healthy. Really proud to be a Cougar. I'm really proud to be a Washingtonian. And I'm new to this area, but it's been cool. There's a lot of pride up here about being a good citizen. And I'm pretty proud of what we're doing in Washington State and our administration. So all the best, everybody. Be safe. Be healthy.